Hello everyone and welcome to Meditate and Magnify. In this series we will be going through the Song of Songs and breaking it down verse by verse. We will be using the teachings of Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, and at the end of each video we'll try to have one major idea or one major image to take with us to contemplation. We are still on the verse, your name is oil poured out. And here, St. Bernard goes on a tangential that I decided to include because I found it to be very rich and helpful. He's describing the actions of the Holy Spirit into what he calls an infusion versus an effusion. So what are those? The infusion is really about introducing a new element into something, right? Think about tea, for example. You call it an infusion. You're putting the herb into the water, and whatever in that herb is being infused to the water. So if you think about it in terms of spirituality, the infusion of the Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit bringing himself, the graces, flowing to us, being poured for our sake. So it's a gift that is given to us for our own holiness and development. Whereas on the other side, if you think about effusion, it's a word you would use potentially if you see gas escaping from a container, for example. So it's really what's being let out. So it's the grace of the Holy Spirit that is given to us, not for our own sake, but for the sake of others. So that is what we are letting on when we are sharing those gifts of the Holy Spirit. So those are, for example, a lot of the gifts of the Holy Spirit that we see in the charismatic movements, the prophecy, the healing, the words of wisdom, and so forth. So those are the two actions, the infusion and the effusion. Now, in many ways, the contemplative prayer will focus more on the infusion, on receiving, on our own holiness, as a prelude, as a necessary step for us to be able to give and share what we receive. And here, St. Bernard has a word of caution in saying that we should be like basins, not like pipes. So we should be able to retain a lot of what we are being given and use it for our own growth, and then share it, as opposed to just letting it through as though it's a pipe. So the invitation here is, again, sit down and don't necessarily rush to share everything. Accumulate everything that you're receiving, sit with it, and the time will certainly come as you are holier and holier. God is going to lead you to action. There is no doubt there. So for this meditation, and again, inspired by this idea of the basin, I'm going to say, imagine your heart, your soul, your inner life being shaped like a basin or a chalice. Sit down and just ask God to fill it, ask the Holy Spirit to fill it, and focus on His presence, and just try to imagine your heart being filled by His presence as you sit there. That's what I have for today. Until next time, God bless you.